Hey guys, welcome back. This is Lucid, and we're going to jump back into our game with Middle-Aged Atlantis. It's turn 45, and I've got a special episode for you here. This is going to be a diplomatic update. I've asked everybody in the game if they wanted to send me a message with kind of what's been happening in the game from their perspective, because I know this is more nations than there are normally. This is a really big map with more nations, so I'm not doing as great of a job of covering what's going on with who's at war with who and all of this. So I asked them to share kind of what's going on from their perspective without revealing anything that they would consider sensitive that they wouldn't tell me in-game if I just asked them anyway. So also, and I think this happened in between this turn and last, I had done a gem trade with Miklin. I gave him 20 nature in exchange for 20 fire, which normally nature are worth more than fire, but I really need lightless lanterns, so let's get on with the messages then. So we have a message from Miklin. My first quote-unquote war with Agartha was basically me getting some of his land while he points his doomstack at Arco. Cost me little. Got some income boost out of it. Right when I was trying to formulate a plan to take out Agartha, he offers peace. The timing was good as my southern neighbors announced an end of our nap that turn. So I took the offer and gatewayed my troops towards that border. That's cool, so he's using Gateway. As you know, per previous communication via Discord, me and TC are fighting. My troops are outclassed by his rainbow-blessed Red Guard. I'm learning some things the hard way, although I did gloriously defend 2 stormings of the Oaklands. The first time TC undercommitted with just 4 to 5 buffaloes. The second time were my first time casting Magic Duel. 1 second. Sorry about that. A second time were my first times casting Magic Duel and beckoning before the storming. I had only a handful of troops, but quite some mages. But now I lost another major army due to Fog Warriors, and Fort and a major TC army is about to reinforce the new siege on Oaklands. I'm probably not long for this world, but I am annoying as hell till then. The window of abusing the situation is closing soon, when the nap was ending. I contacted Ulius and Pythium, hoping they would abuse the situation. When Pythium, still besieging Phalegra, is now distracted by greed for Arco's land, Atlantis and Yis being distracted, you wouldn't know what happened. You wouldn't know anything about that. Homing pigeon. Okay. So, a few thoughts on this. So, we do know that Tianchi and Miklin were fighting. I think I had thought that Miklin was the one initiating aggression, but in this case it was Tianchi. And Tianchi has probably much better research than me, because they already have Fog Warriors up. So I expect that we're pretty far behind in research. But it's kind of interesting. I mean, it seems like Miklin got a pretty good start, where they got some free land off of Agartha. And then it seems they were pretty well prepared for the war with Tianchi. One problem, though, I think is, and this is one of the things that really gets illustrated, is if you don't take magic weapons on Miklin, one spell, Fog Warriors can just really shut you down so hard. So I think, and it was one of the weaknesses in my build that I talked about, and we were having like a really short game with Miklin, but I think especially, and this is pretty early in the game, by the way, but in a long game, oh man, you've got to get magic weapons if you're playing Miklin, and there's anybody that even could stumble upon Crystal Amazons, because that's what happened here, is I think that Crystal Amazon province that's just north of me is what Tianchi's using to drive his Fog Warrior communions. Okay, we have a lot of messages from Tianchi. So greetings, Kings of the Deep. We're pleased to present to you this record of the goings-on of the surface world, compiled by several eunuchs who had nothing better to do while raising province defense. Though the Middle Kingdom has much knowledge of what has transpired on the surface, we hear rumors only of the world beneath the waves. Perhaps your historians have compiled similar records that you could share with us. Please find the attached several chapters. We hope they're easier to read than they were to write using these primitive text recording tools. TC, Sequani. And I don't think I've mentioned it so far, because I didn't actually know. So I've played with Sequani several times, and he also puts a lot of his games up on YouTube. So I didn't know if he was going to be putting this one up. I kind of assumed he wouldn't. But he is. So I will, I forget these things all the time, but first person to mention that I haven't put a link to this in the comments, say it, and I'll put a link to Sequani's series if I haven't already. Okay, so let's get on with the notes. So, Chapter 1, The South. After the Felegrian giants expanded boldly towards Bandarlog, the apes declared war with very limited success. Fearing the tyrants would grow too strong, we prepared a giant-killing army to march south, expecting then to fight them for control of Bandarlog itself. Though Pythium also joined in the fray, the giant's Earth Mother was no match for the human troops. As we descended south, the apes managed a surprising victory and slew the mother herself, though they were left in a weakened position. Although our army was ill-conceived for fighting monkeys, we nevertheless were able to conquer what remained of their lands, though not without taking more casualties than we would have hoped. Stuck behind the walls in his capital, Felegra had no choice but to wait for the inevitable end, which came much later in the form of a powerful arcane magic and harbinger form, Pythium. So Pythium came back, I think, with harbingers and other things, and that's how they actually ended up killing Felegra. This was also the period, you may recall, when our diplomats negotiated the status of the west coast of Bandarlog much earlier. Yis had already taken and fortified the east coast, including the throne, whose name escapes me, but but gives fire astral guys and a lot of gold. Okay, anyway. I think that's the throne of... the Golden Throne. So, okay, that's Chapter 1. Chapter 2, The East. Ulm has been beset by conflict from the beginning, fighting off both Satis to his north and Pangaea to his east, really it's to his south, and also at times Phaeacia from the coast. Pressure on him was relieved when Yis began conquering Pangaea from the west, though the Centaurs seemed to be single-mindedly focused on Ulm, which is hilariously true. Man in the north had hoped to capitalize on the moment and attack Satis, although Satis took many casualties and was forced to back off from Ulm. Man also lost many troops to foul vapors, a swarm of skeletons, and was unable to eradicate the lizards before being forced to turn back. Now Man faces what appears to be an existential threat from Vanarus. Ulm has stabilized, though he must contend with a large Pangaean army and a Satis at that, although Small refuses to give up. Okay, so Chapter 3, The Far North. Agartha has been the center of conflict for much of this recorded history, as far as we can tell. There seems to be bad blood between the cave dwellers and the philosophers of Archacephaly. But it seems that Marignon and Micklin were also eager to grab a piece of the Agarthan pie. All three failed, some more spectacularly than others. Marignon was able to gain a few provinces, but suffered a resounding defeat at the hands of Agartha's pillar. Micklin was perhaps the most successful, taking casualties, but also gaining significant amount of land to his north. Although Arco suffered losses early on, we have recently learned that he has all but defeated the Agarthan forces. However, he is now caught defending against the Pythium aggression and cannot land a killing blow against his eternal enemy. This leaves Agartha small, weak, but under no pressure, since all of his other enemies are now caught in other wars, or in wars of their own. This is a really good chronicle from Sequani, by the way. This is my first time reading it, actually, so I'm kind of learning what's going on. I knew most of this, but I didn't know all of it. But I'm not even sure if I knew it if I've been telling it to you guys, so this is good for all of us. The exotic Shinuyama has been peaceful and quietly biding their time until a few seasons ago when they declared war on the Marinese to the north. Although Marignon was caught at an awkward time, having recently lost troops on the Agarthan front, he quickly struck back and seemingly gained the upper hand against Shinuyama, raiding successfully with several harbingers. However, recently the armies of Shinuyama have won some key victories and have chased the harbingers out of their land. The war has been bloody on both sides, but Shinuyama seems to have the upper hand for now. And when I asked people for this, I was one of these messages would have been what I would expect from each player. So to get all of these from Sequani is awesome. The Inuks constantly debate how to designate the land between the Atlantean Ocean and the Izian Sea, but they have been recently settled on calling it the Northwest. After making landfall on several coasts, the Phaeacia seems to have decided to attempt to conquer the giants of Jotunheim. We believe that the Phaeacians are winning the war with powerful astral magic and javelins that apparently hit really hard. Lots of javelins. We believe that Vanarus might be the next target of the rather large, powerful Yis nation after the conquest of Pangaea, but Russ appears to feel secure enough on that front to engage Man, apparently with success. So he must not know. I've been kind of quiet about killing, or not killing, because in no way am I an existential threat to Yis, but about attacking Yis. Yis isn't going to be attacking anybody soon, I don't think. Except me. Okay, so that was this message. And then the final one, Chapter 6, The North. After a raid and very efficient early expansion, Mictlan controlled a large part of the central plains of this continent. Later, after annexing even more territory from the Agartha further north, we decided that we had to intervene unless we wanted Mictlan to snowball out of control. Mictlan doesn't, by the way, snowball as hard in the Middle Age because they are not really a blood nation. But they can get recruit everywhere, sacreds that can fly. Early, the logistics were challenging as part of our army was still in the south. Fighting Mictlan has proven challenging since his Eagle Warriors can reach our rear ranks before we conjure Storm to ground them. This makes deploying our preferred weapon, Gifts of Heaven, or Gifts of Old Men. Gifts from Old Men. Too dangerous. Oh, that's really funny. Too dangerous to use. Many of the frontline troops believe it's still too dangerous to use even the front line, given the difficulty from which the old men can see at a distance. Mictlan has relied on astral magic and conjurations combined with swarms of poorly armored warrior slaves. We had initially hoped to deal with them with several volleys of flaming arrows, but Mictlan controls a throne which shields their sacred troops from arrows, and in any case, can now apply the same protection to all his troops. We therefore have to rely on our superior troops enhanced with various magics as well as powerful communions. After a series of excellent army maneuvers on the provincial scale, we believe that we now have the upper hand in the conflict. So that is a pretty awesome accounting of most of the happenings in the world that I know about anyway, and then some that I don't. Like, I knew that Phaeacia was attacking Jotunheim, I didn't really know who was winning. Yeah, so anyway, that's really cool. A message has arrived from Agartha. Welp, my story so far had a decent expansion at first, going in the easiest direction northwest, Phalegra, Pythium, Arco, then killed like 3 expansion parties with infantry and shard guard trying to take my cap circle. Burning ones and cavemen are kind of tough. Oh, so apparently he had some failed expansions. Right, so he was going after cavemen and burning ones, and these guys are really hard to expand into. Like, you have to take... They hit so damn hard that if you're trying to rely on your protection and like a few elite troops, they will just tear you apart. Also, Lion Tribe sniping mages leading the statues tastes like salt. Oh yeah, because the statues will then dissolve. Expanded OK east towards Man. Didn't grab caves though, no biggie. Around the same time, Arco starts his Legoria about me not liking to take provinces too far from his cap. Apparently, Cap Circle is that big nowadays. Offers me 2 gems, or 5 gems for those provinces. I refuse that offer, which 5 gems is pretty cheap. Things are relatively okay for Agartha. Start building my fort and temple, same turn near Man-Mictlan border. Planning on taking the last 2 Indies and 1 water province nearby. Events happen, werewolves on top of me doing construction work, rip 1,000 gold plus Oracle. Getting really pissed. Like, my game sub optimal, but still doable. Like, I took luck plus turmoil, might get some event. Next turn, Arco invade and force without warning, while talking usual shit about peace and prosperity. Now it's personal. Figured now my game is ruined, might as well take him down with me. Get Onyx, which is the, like, ridiculously strong Agarthan hero. Backstab by Marion Mictlan, down to 3 provinces. Event, 2k gold, PD dump and doomstack and kill their chariots. Intimidate Marignon and Mictlan with Onyx raiding around. Nap from both. Okay, so I guess that's kind of his game so far, right? So he's made... so Agartha is... Okay, Phalegra's over here. Where the hell is them? Or are they? I think these are like... I think this is somewhere about where Agartha... I have no idea, to be honest. Look how much of this... Maybe this is Agartha. There is so much of this map I just... Like... I mean, it's all question. I have no idea what is going on over here. That's kind of the crazy thing about playing on a big map. So, I think Agartha is in a bit of a grudge war with poor Archocephaly, who is most likely going to die now. It sounds like from the diplomacy. And I've talked to Archo a little bit himself, and yeah, he says it's probably not going so hot. So that is a cool recounting of history. It seems from this that if we're to say who are the big players in the game right now, I think it's Yis. I think Relay is probably still... Okay, let's do like really big. I think really big is Yis, potentially Shinuyama after he's done with his war with Marignon. TNG is really big. Man and Vanarus are fighting. I'm not sure the relative size. If Vanarus wins, he could be big. But I think those are the biggest players right now. Is Yis, probably me, and then TNG, maybe Vanarus and Shinuyama. I think those are the big players. Now, there's a few people who still have very solid footing in the game. Like, let's see. I don't think that Fascia has a strong footing, but it appears they have the upper hand versus Jotunheim. So let's say they have a real footing. Jotunheim, I don't know how dire it is. They may or may not. Bandarlog is defeated. Pangaea is basically defeated. Satis has a very weak holding, but they've got their feet firmly planted in their weak holding. And I think that's the same for Agartha. Weak holding, but firmly planted. Miquelin, I think, is on the heels, and I think they have to come up with some way to deal with the Fog Warrior Sacred Elite Army with just Eagle Warriors without magic weapons. I don't have any idea how I would do that, but I haven't spent a ton of time thinking. Marignon, so these two are, I think Marignon and Miquelin are both kind of losing their wars right now. Ulm has I would say they have a solid holding, but slightly weak. They're not losing any wars. They can probably get out of the wars they're in. They're fighting with Pangaea and Satis, but those are both weak. Like, Pangaea is basically conquered, and Satis is weak. And then they also have, just ridiculous economy they can get with forging. So I would say they still have a firm holding, but not very big. Man, probably firm, but it depends. And then Archo, I think, is super far back on his heels. Pythium, I didn't mention Pythium. Pythium's probably one of the big nations, too. So, because I think they've eaten a lot of Archo. And, yeah. They were pretty big, I think, out of expansion. They have really good scales, so they're going to have, like, a ton of income. And they're pretty well forted up. Like, we can see a lot of forts here. Okay, so, took 20 minutes just to go through Diplo, which is cool. Did we do Satis? Oh, we didn't do Satis yet. The lizards of Satis will never die. The puny humans of man have wasted their lives trying to wallow in our fetid swamps. Now they die in droves to the frigid roosts. The black-plated funkies of Ulm run and hide, now that they are alone. For 3 years the lizards have waited. Now they have risen again. Beware of the filthy sea monsters. Beware, filthy sea monsters. The scales of war have been carefully glued onto the backs of our slaves, and they will swarm this world in clouds of poison and dangerous hissing noises. That's really funny. Okay. So cool. So anyway, thanks to everybody who sent in the Diplo messages for this. Really cool to be able to share that with everybody. I might start doing that occasionally, like around turn 40 in all my games, if I remember. Okay, Garden of Pearls. Oh, hell yes. Okay. We searched this. Now, we really want to hold on to it, because this could be Yis's land if we lose this war. Now, we were kind of baiting a Yis attack. I don't know if we are going to be successful. So we are attacking Yis with one of our thugs. Okay. Yis attacks us. Let's see where they attack. Oh, in the swamps. Just a big, inefficient block of cavalry. Oh, we killed some with poison. How value. It's actually kind of cool we get a guy with poison barbs and fair amount of armor as part of our PD. If we took a cool bless, it would... These were, I mean, are legit 1 PD guys. Like, putting in 1 PD and having, like, a cool bless, I could see that being decent against a lot of raiders. Anyway, killed 3. That's okay. I think that justifies the 6 PD investment. Okay, but he didn't attack my trap, which... Okay. No super important events. Okay, we've broken through some fort walls, though. So we have broken through this fort, and we've broken through this fort. And then, of course, we still have this fort open, but we now, I think, are ready to kill this god. We're ready to try. It is not going to be easy. Let's just put it that way. So... Oh, I don't have any nature casters here. Shit. There's a good chance this guy's gonna die. He is not gonna hold on to any freaking gems. Oh, well, let's finish talking about Yis before we come up to these guys, because I think... Okay, so this is the Movark stack. The conspicuous 4 Yisian druids. They were here, right, and I thought they were gonna attack here, so we had a pretty good-looking little PD dump here. Like, if we look at this, and hopefully they didn't see. I think I want to put them farther up, though. I don't know if they're building it, what they're building there. Let's go ahead and just move them. Because we're probably going to hang tight. This looks really dangerous. Shark Tribe. There's 3 magic gems. Very nice. I don't think we can hold this, is kind of what I'm thinking. I need to get a lab in there, too. I mean, a temple. Okay, we've got a fire to nature. Not a very useful cross path, but we'll go ahead and get them underwater if we can. What can we do with fire nature? I'm trying to think if there's any cross path I'm not thinking of. Fire ants? Don't really care about... I mean, these guys are not horrible, but it's not anything to be excited about. Yeah, not really. I guess fire and trees don't really go together. Well, maybe they do. Maybe they're like an industrialist. Fire nature. Okay. I guess we can site search here before we run. Time for... Okay, does Mr. Hands want to reset? Now, we had made a pledge last turn that Mr. Hands is going to make his own GD fish amulet. Is it possible we get one out of this? Possible, but unlikely. Dominion here is 3. Dominion here is 0. Dominion here is gonna... This is probably a pretty high Dominion. Yeah, it's gonna be at least 6. Here's 4. So, good news. We have all of our stuff here for this person. And I think we should be able to move them all the way on top. Because we're like that. Look at that. Look at that! Low mobility ocean nation, get out of here. Okay, so here's the thing. We're gonna crush these knights. Like, if these knights think they're gonna attack us, they've got another thing coming. Yeah, it's not even gonna be pretty. It's just gonna be brutal, 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 brutal. Now, I can't bless these, which is a little annoying, but not that important. I have a lot of troops here, actually. I mean, this is a sizable Atlantean army. I don't have any good freaking commanders. Which is a little disturbing. And I don't think we can make the... I mean, this is, I think, like completely tapping out our movement. Let's check. 27? Yeah. We will not be able to do... This gives me 12, right? Boots of the Messenger gives me 6. So I would rather have Boots of the Messenger, but I care more about... Hold an attack. Hold an attack. Hold an attack. Hold an attack. Okay. Now you're going to be right here. And especially if he's on a blob formation, this is just going to completely ruin him. I think what we'll do is just spam Falling Frost. Thing is, okay, so we're water 6. Falling Frost is going to do a shit ton of damage. It is a... I think we talked about this a little bit before in the National Overview, but this will be my time talking about it for the first time, like, in the game. We're going to be getting a +3, so everywhere you see a plus, add 3, so it's going to be AoE 8, which is big. It's going to be 20 damage. Now, this is magic damage that's going to have to go through armor. And the Knights, I believe, have, like, 16 armor. I don't think they get a chance to dodge it with defense, though. So... it's not going to do a huge amount of damage, because they have more armor than I thought. I don't think it will make a shield check, though it might. We'll see. I mean, it's AoE 8. It's going to potentially hit 16 of them at a time. I mean, it's going to just absolutely crush them. So, I think we are going to have our Thug go storm the castle. And I think he's just going to do Body Ethereal. That's going to be, well... I think we'll send both these guys to go storm. So, get you out of the way. This guy will do things that he can cast, like Quickness and Body Ethereal. This guy, we're going to try to minimize his fatigue spend, but we're going to do things that only he can cast on himself. Like Liquid Body and Breath of Winter. Liquid Body. The last thing he'll do is Breath of Winter. Is there anything else we need to cast? Nothing that I see. Possible fire resistance would be good. We'll do that just in case. And then, do we have fire resistance already? We do. That's okay. That's going to be a little bit of fire resistance is going to be all we need. We'll do a hold turn to get rid of fatigue, and then we'll do Breath of Winter, and then we're going to attack. Attack rear, I guess. Or attack closest. Okay, and then this person is going to do Quickness, which hopefully will target me. We might need to actually move these troops a little farther forward so that they are out of range of sucking up my... my Quickness casting. Body Ethereal. And then we can put one more thing on him. I think Luck would probably be the best in case there's some kind of shenanigans I don't know about. Okay. And then I think we'll do Twist Fate on ourselves and then advance and cast spells. That way he'll wander into our troops for the battle with the Knights. The other thing I think is this is going to increase the range. No, it's not. Okay, it's still 30 range. I think this is fine. I mean, the first Falling Frost is not going to hit. And how is he positioning him kind of far forward? think they... Yeah, they are at the front. It's possible the first Falling Frost can hit. We'll just leave it on that. Like, forecast, they're gonna be in deep shit. Okay, so that's this battle. I think we have it taken care of. If he comes up this way, I think we'll probably intercept here. We don't really need these guys on top of the fort, so I think we're gonna move this way. If he attacks me with all of these guys, I think I want to leave it to my thugs. Now, this person we're going to have to get out of touch. Let's do this first. So this is going to be just dealing with his knights. So I think what we're going to do is just get enough indies that are going to serve as lance charge soakers. I'll split these guys up in a few groups. And actually, I think these guys, there's a good chance he's going to run this way, and if that's the case, I'd like to go ahead and use Magic Duel. The only problem is... This isn't a problem. We can just do hold and attack. They could trigger an HP route if these guys die. But they're gonna have to get through all our PD and then these... Maybe okay. Here we're just gonna dodge. 50 heavy cav. I don't think this guy can survive 50 heavy cav. Maybe he can. What's his heroic trait? Fear? Maybe he can. Dryads? I don't know if I want to attack Dryads. Maybe we just get out of dodge here. Bring him in for like a big old fight. That's gonna give us well, even more. Like 150 HP of thugs compared to 13 times 20. No, it's still more HP of this. I'm worried about these guys routing my thugs. Especially with a long attack script. I think what we're gonna do is have the lost ones come up here. Have them attack rear. Or I could send them inside. Maybe we send them inside. They'll get to Magic Duel. Hold an attack. This guy is on a... Okay, we've got a very weird script for him, and this is not actually a very... So that's the right move, to send this guy inside, or to send these troops inside. This is not one of my stronger guys, so Iron Skin, I think we're gonna do Temper Flesh, because you don't even have good armor. It's like a very weak thug. Shit. Is this guy gonna retreat? Okay. Oh, he can do Body Ethereal. That's gonna make a huge difference. Okay, so we're gonna put him right next to Home Slice here. Waywinkle. So Waywinkle, what's his affliction? Limp. Kind of a shitty affliction. He's not going to be super high strength. I mean, he doesn't have any regen. I do not want him to tank. I would rather burn out on fatigue, I think, than like really go for like a heavy tank script. So I think what we're going to do I think we'll do Quicken Self and attack. And we gotta hope that him and the Fire Elemental can kill things pretty quickly. Now, if this guy's on hold and attack... Let's see who's going to be here. Let's get it down to this. Okay, so... I feel like this is one turn too many. No, this is probably right. He'll be body ethereal, so he'll run through the wall. These guys will probably get clogged up in a choke point. But again, these guys can cause everybody to run. Fire Elemental having more HP on the field will help, but I don't know if it's enough. This is going to be risky. We could totally lose this. Okay. And let's double check here. Okay, see, look, I'm already messing everything up. We don't need anti-magic. I don't think we want to advance. I think we're just going to cast spells. I should need this guy to survive, because he needs to survive the... I was thinking about retreat, but there's going to be a battle outside the fort, almost for sure, and then there's going to be a battle inside the fort. These guys are going to be the only ones going inside. And I hope Yis doesn't have many mages in here, because Yisian mages are actually pretty good at castle defense. Like, they can do some... If you remember me fighting Yis as Scalaria, Yis ended up fighting... It wasn't me, but it was somebody else. They had... I mean, he had like four of these Kenruid, however the hell you say it, druids. And, yeah, because you get, like, the nature random. You can have... I mean, these guys make such strong communion slaves. I mean, they get crazy. Like, they have Iron Skin, Body Ethereal. You can do growth, personal regeneration, Earth Power, Liquid Body. You know, like, you name it, right? They're going to have all these buffs on them. And then they can potentially put up something like Hell. So, we could lose. Maybe it's worth going inside with one of these guys. Like, maybe we say, let's... But this is a pretty strong thug group. We're not fatigue neutral. I think we're going to go inside with a thug group, or with one of these groups. We can take some of them and put them on here. Like, maybe we take... So that will probably give something for the archers to shoot at, aside from just pincushioning this guy. He does have regen. I think this will be able to take this fort. And that will be a good step for us. Okay, we've now site-searched this area too, and this is where I think like a big battle is about to go down. So this is where Yis was going to attack us. Or, I mean, this is where Yis thought we were going to move to. They thought we were going to raid, they were going to intercept our raiders. We didn't move there. So then he's going to choose between coming up here and attacking this, which he's not going to do, because that's what these knights are going to do. They're going to come here. Fine, we'll let them run into this. You know, potentially we could go here. We're getting into the point where we're close enough to Yis's stuff that things are going to get hard. So I think we're going to hang tight here and hope to win an important battle. But with 4 of these guys, I think we're going to be able to do a lot of damage. You are fatigue neutral, so you should be doing Quicken Self. You're not doing Quicken Self? Why would you not be doing Quicken Self? Now, if we don't succeed in storming this castle, it's kind of going to be bad. Because I don't have anything really I mean, aside from these guys, I don't have anything reinforcing this to potentially take it next turn. And I don't think I want to risk it. Like, I could take one of these thugs and move them back, but I would really rather... I could put this fort under siege. I mean, that would be cool. Or I could attack here. I would rather take his units off the board. I think it's extremely likely he attacks here with his knights. I mean, with his knights. He moved here because he wanted to fight. Right, so he's going to have to fight me with my PD. We've got a shit ton of archers, which there's a decent chance they can pop glamour. And then I've got these guys who are just going to, you know, lay into him super hard. The thing I'm not doing, and I might want to do, is cast Falling Frost. Like, this guy actually would be spellcasting fatigue 12, but we'll have reinvigoration 17. What's the Falling Frost cost? 20. So after encumbrance, we will be at 5 reinvigoration. I mean, we can get a lot of Falling Frosts out. Falling Frost is going to wreck Glamour, which is going to make our PD do a lot more. I think that's what this guy is going to do. So Iago, we're going to position you here with the army. And we're going to change your script. You're not going to be a big badass. You are going to be... Alright, running into combat. You're going to be a spellcasting badass. So, summon Earth Power. I think we're still going to Iron Skin ourselves. And then by this time, the Movarks should be running in. And I think we'll just Falling Frost the living shit out of them. Now, I won't be able to do this on the water. But I think this will give me, like, pretty much dominance on land. Now, we're not overcasting it. It's only going to be 17 damage. So it could kind of bounce off their armor. But I think it will be enough to pop Glamour. Okay, we have a bunch of guys. We have to decide what they're going to do. So we'll get into the econ management at the end. That way, those of you who don't have time to stay for the whole thing, you will get the nuggets, which is going to be the storming of Pelagio, is the next nugget. That and defending, yes. So, Private Plumpkit, let's get you some gems. Guys, this is not a drill, alright? This is the real thing. We're going to be going in, guns a-blazing. This guy is going to be popping off Power of the Spheres. Anti-magic. And then he's going to drop... I guess he can Mind Burn? I don't really have the good Thaumaturgy things yet. I think that's what I'm researching now. I think we're better getting some water elementals out. Now, he can't really come out and attack. He's got one mage. They could do a gem bait, but that's about it. We're going to have this guy who is not going to run in, because we're going to be very careful about bringing troops in, because troops can cause me to HP round. I'll bring in some, so that basically they just serve as targets other than my thug. So first let's get everybody who's going in. You guys are all going inside. And let's have these guys just move away from now. They're not actually going to move away, but I just want to be able to only see the stuff I have right now. Plumpkit, let's get rid of your... Okay. Now, everybody's going to get some guard commander dudes. Taking these from the move away folks, except this guy. So when they do School of Sharks, we don't want it messing with our stuff. Okay, so this is kind of just a starting point for getting this army ready to go. This is going to be the guy doing the heavy lifting. Okay, we've already, because last episode we already started doing it, we've already got him laid up with the dude who is going to be fluffing him. So we've got Body, Ethereal, Luck, Cheat Fate, Water Power, Water Elementals, which means we should probably give him some water gems. Animals are risky, because animals he can charm them. I'm not really feeling anything that's going to get sharks, because he'll charm those. I think just spamming out elementals who he'll freeze and attack is the way to go. We'll keep these on a non-combatant. Okay, we could do quickness, but I think I decided I want this guy to do quicken self, because I don't want to risk anything that could cause him to basically fail at if quickness targets something else. This guy absolutely has to have quickness. I mean, quickness is far, far, far from being optional. He has not cast Iron Skin on himself, but we're going to have somebody else do that. This guy is going to have to come down here and do that. And I think he's going to do it just like this. Okay, we'll cast it twice. These guys only have 16 HP, so they should not be a draw for Iron Warriors. It should go on this, or on this, on this guy, plus the guy beneath him. What I do want to make sure is that this guy also gets Body Ethereal cast on him. So I think what we'll do, we'll change this to Body Ethereal again, and this will cast it on the other guy standing next to me. Well, no, we'll do someone in Earth Power, and then when this guy goes off script, they'll do Water Elementals, which is fine. Now, I think Attacker is pretty important. It's going to take me to the Mage in the back, and then hopefully it gives me a back access slot to the God. And again, like, I can just get unlucky and this guy can die, because that God can, if it casts Fists of Iron at me, it's going to do like 40 damage. Now, and I think it's going to do multiple effects. I don't know if it will all hit one tile, but I think it can. Like, it can basically delete me. But Temper Flesh will help. Iron Skin will help. I don't know if it has to pass a defense check, but Ice Shield will also help. So we've got layers of defense here, and then we've got Regen to repair chip damage. So it's as good as we're going to get, I think, for killing this god. If I can't do it with this guy, then I'm basically going to Dom kill him, which I don't really want to do. Okay, what next? How about... Let's check everybody's script. Summon Earth Power. Do we want Shark Attack? No. Do we want Friendly Currents? Yes. Do we want Water Elementals? Yes. Friendly Currents is going to help with my fatigue. It's going to hurt his fatigue a little bit. Anti-Magic, Summon Water Elementals. Perfect. Anti-Magic is important. There's certain things I'm sure his god will have Astral Shield too, so we don't want to get paralyzed. We also don't want him casting things like Paralyze or Soul Slay on my guys and being successful, so that will help. Shit. One risk is he could do Magic Duel. I don't think he'll do that because he could just get unlucky. So I think that's really unlikely, but if he did Magic Duel, he could potentially target one of my Astral dudes who's in the same square as this guy and delete him. So, I mean, if we want to be really, really careful, he's not cast it once. I don't think he will. If we want to be really careful, we could move this guy out of the same tile. I mean, maybe we do that. Let's give this guy a guard commander. Let's put him one tile back. Okay, we'll put him right here. We'll give him one of these guys guarding him too. Just because this guy, if you put a size 4 and a size 2 together, often the size 2 will sit in the same square as the size 4. And that way, it'll make sure that the spells are attracted to that square. Because it might like 3 of these guys in one square, rather than like this guy empty in a square. So we put this guy and this guy together. We should get it cast. Worries me. I mean, I guess it's going to be more HP density. Do it 3 times, make sure we get him with Iron Warriors. And then we're going to do... Strength of Giants. Whatever. We'll do this, and then we'll do Legions of Steel. You know, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. What we're going to do with all these guys is we're going to move everybody else to the top. I don't want anything that can take any of my fluffing spells. And I'm being like a little superstitious here. We should be fine, but I don't want anything in range. Okay, we have Guard Commander. Body Ethereal is going to be, I think, probably the most important of the buffs this guy's doing. No, Luck and Cheat Fate are all going to be important. Now, I don't know which ones it's going to cast on, though, is now the problem. So I guess we'll get rid of this. We'll do Luck one more time. There's some things we're missing. He can do Foul Vapors, potentially. I don't think he went up enchantment, so actually I think we're okay with that. This is probably fine. And I think everybody's script is fine. Everybody should be on... Do we want to do conservative gym use? Not really. I don't want anybody on advance and cast spells. You guys on attack rear, good. Unless I have some... No, I can't do... Frozen Heart's not going to work. So that's the battle. Now, the people that we had moved off, I don't actually want to move off, I don't think. I think we're going to maybe move this guy over here. And if they attack, I think we're going to, like, hold, retreat. Actually, just what this guy has. I don't want him fighting. And actually, if there's a battle here this turn before I can get her the kit for... Why are we bringing... No, we need to... Why would I move them here? No. Okay, stop. Everybody's preaching. We're getting like 1,000,000 Dominion here. We're not doing this business. The nature gems are fine. We're just going to hang tight. Now, if they attack, I'm going to be doing Poison Ward and Foul Vapor, so that's okay that everybody's here. We probably want a couple on Guard Commander, though. Something like this will be okay. Can Site Search here. I mean, he's probably already Site Searched, but what else are we going to do? Okay, and now it's time to actually go in and kill these guys. So these guys are moving out. I don't actually think we want to move them that way. I think what we'll probably do is, I think the siege... You are going to stay here and continue the siege. And the reason is because this is going to be the attack rear that are going to kill the gym baiters. Okay, so these guys are going to maintain the siege. These guys are going to get ready for our next fort storming, I think, which will be down this way. He's going to do all sorts of nasty gym baiting shit when I just sit on these forts. Let's go ahead and get some more of these guys so I can crack it a little faster. Oh no, we're gonna switch. We're gonna preach. Not using our our holy threes to move troops around when we can avoid it. We're gonna get them preaching. I want to get my dominion here. See, their god's moving. Apparently their god's sight searching. Okay, let's have y'all just patrol. I just got the chills. It's because it's freaking cold in here. Okay, we have a shit ton of fire gems, so let's go ahead and spend them. Turn them into into lanterns. As many lanterns as we can get right now. Now, at some point, we're going to be running low on mages to put them on. We're not at that point. I want to get to that just as quickly as I freaking can. Because my research is way behind, because I've been getting all these really good mages who are really expensive, but they're kind of shitty researchers. Well, I think we're going to put these on these guys as a lower priority. I'm going to put them on my cap-only mages, which... Thing is, my cap-only mages are old, so by the time the horrors come and get them, they're probably going to have some afflictions anyway. It's kind of their time, if you know what I mean. Their time has already come. Okay, and we are now the proud owners, the very proud owners, of a Ring of Wizardry and a Ring of Sorcery. That is big news for the turn, actually. Okay, you can see we can still take a ton more of these Lightless Lanterns, so we're going to be forging them like crazy. Death income is going through the roof, but I just want to demonstrate, consider this an exercise for the student. I took his Ring of Regen. Okay, we need to get one of those, like, yesterday. These both have a ton of dominion. Which one's going to be strategically more useful? This guy connects to here. This one connects to here. I don't think it matters. We'll go to the one a little closer to Yist just to spread my dominion here. We'll do sneak, too. I kind of do want a sight search. Do we not have any miscellaneous things that are any good to put here? If he gets assassinated, that might not be bad. I guess we'll sight search. Wait, should we empower? We were going to empower. If we empower, we're still 2 empowerments away from, or 1 more empowerment away from making an amulet of fish. At which point, I can morally justify using Yis's weapons against him. He was so cool about it when he told me. He was like, hey, yeah, you see you put that amulet of fish to good use. And I was like, oh shit. I know it should have been obvious, I should have thought about it, but I'm the kind of person who doesn't remember who gives you presents at Christmas. So I'm just like, oh man, these, whatever, are really nice. How convenient. We're gonna need mages out of these forts, like, yesterday. Are we out of money? Where did I put PD? Okay, well, let's first of all get rid of chaff for recruiting. Okay, that will do it. What? 275? Okay. It's fine. Put repeat recruitment on. And I think we've got... we were blasting out 5-path thuggable dudes out of a lot of forts. We're getting a lot of them. I do need to think about how do I get them over to the war front. Like, I need the water ones for this land war. And we've got that guy coming. I'm going to start saving a few gems too, so we're going to go ahead and use this hammer here. We probably need some kind of earth or fire. We're making lanterns. He has a fire path. Do we need more hammers? I think the answer is yes. Would be nice to site search, but I think instead we need a thistle mace too. Okay, cancel what I said. Well, do we? Ooh. I think we have enough foul vapors casters, actually. One thing we can make is a cornucopia. Which actually, in conjunction with Moss Body, will make those guys... Or if I get a Ring of Returning, I can have like a very... They can still get Soul Slade. Alright, this is just dangerous. If he attacks, if I get attacked here... Okay, I don't want them... Have you guys retreat? No, but then they'll cause this lady to retreat. I guess you have to hold an attack. Sorry, guys. Cost of doing business. But we'll get him out with the gems idea. Oh, why are we putting gems on somebody going into combat when I have, like, somebody that's going to sit around here and not die? That's where they're going. Oh, but I needed to take gems to them. So let's take some. Okay, just not going to put all our eggs in that basket. Okay, we were going to make a cornucopia. I'm not sure yet. Man, we're getting a lot of these nature randoms. It would be really nice to get one of the other randoms. Like, I would love a death random. Give me the water blood, the water death cross path. Okay. You can see we have a ton of holy threes crawling around now. I think your job is going to be up here. And this is ready to get preached down. But we're not going to take troops, because then I'll be tempted to transport them with you. I need to get another... I kind of need more preachers. Controlling Dominion, I think, is going to be really important. I might want to posture threateningly on my border with Relay, and like put... Right now I've got this little effigy of war. I need to get more troops here if I'm going to do that, but I also don't want him to think I'm going to attack him. But like having 40 troops I think would be making it look like I wasn't kidding. So I think that's mostly it for the turn. We've got Foul Vapor's traps, which I don't even know if he knows about yet. Okay, we're going to move one of these guys up for troop logistics. I don't want to have these guys sitting around where they can just... Maybe that's okay. They'll get... this is where I have Poison Ward. I think this is okay. We're going to sit here. I think we're going to go jump on top, and we're going to gym bait him, gym baiting me. Maybe. I don't know. But I think we're okay sitting here. I think he's going to attack here, if I had to bet. It's coming. I mean, he's got a ton of mages, so I don't know what he's waiting for. But I think we're going to get this. We're going to put a ton of Dominion pressure here, and I might even just try to dom kill these last two forts. I'm just not sure. But we've got a ton of priests. Okay, let's double check all the important battles, and then we'll go. Okay, these guys could potentially steal my fluffing. Okay, who's storming the castle? You guys are storming the castle? Why would I put these guys so close to my fluffing? This is why we come back and check this shit. None of that. Okay, we have a good chance of success here. We've got this guy coming in the front, who is going to pummel them with Falling Frost if he decides to march these knights into me. I don't think he will. I think he's going to raid, and if he raids, then we should have counter-raiding stuff, like we can send this guy on top of him. Got some decent armor. We got the regen armor we can put on him with two of these. I don't know. I'd have to test it out, but do we have a Vine Shield? We have a Vine Shield. We don't have a Frostbrand. We might need to make a Frostbrand. Okay. Did we cast Voice of Tiamat? I thought I had been casting that. I don't think we found anything from Voice of Tiamatting his lands, and I don't know if he did it himself. I'm not seeing a lot of air. Here's an Earth site. I haven't seen any fire sites, though. I don't think he's been Voice of Tiamatting. I think he just really aggressively site-searched water. So what we might do is just Voice of Tiamat some more. I mean, this is a good spot. We'll get both of these two. How much PD? We have a lot of PD here, so we're fine having him set up shop. Sermon of Courage, Divine Blessing, and then spells. Okay, and then I think I'm done for the turn. I'm going to write Sequani back a message summarizing the history of at least my little area of the world. So anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this slightly different episode. And God, I hope I'm lucky and kill some Movarks in the next turn, and I hope I successfully storm 3 forts, because if everything goes well, I will take 3 forts next turn. So, anyway, take care, guys.